What's going on, everybody? Cigar Show Tim here with another edition of Tobacco Talk, where I review a cigar and then I give you my thoughts on it in 4 key areas: flavor, draw, construction, and burn. It's everything you want to know about that cigar, but it's from my palate's perspective, and then I rate it as to whether I think it's nubworthy or not. So this review comes courtesy of Powstania, or Powstanie, however you look at it, see it, pronounce it, whatever it may be. I'll find out for sure at PCA, which technically is like starting now from when this actually posts. And the team sent it out. They sent me a 3-pack to check out, to review, to enjoy, all those different things. So I am reviewing the new Justice size of the Powstanie Connecticut. We'll get into the blend and everything else about it in just a minute here. But if we're going to review it, there's only one thing left to do. Let's light it up. All right, I went with my usual straight cut, as you can see right there. On the cold draw, pretty much get just like a honey graham cracker with a little bit of light woodiness in there, but that's pretty much it. So let's toast her up. Okay, upon initial light up, picking up some very pronounced leather notes, a lot of earthiness, quite a bit of earthiness, actually pretty earthy forward, and a little bit of some light cedar wood in there. None of the lighter flavor notes, none of the like graham cracker or anything like that is coming through. Right now it's leather, earth, and some woodiness. So I'm going to jump into the first third of this cigar. When I come back, I'll let you know the blend on it, any more information I find, and of course, well, how it's treating me. Let me show you the burn at the end of the first third here. The ash looks like it is going to fall at any second. Got a little bit of a wave to it. Nothing too crazy, but it's got a wave. And as you can see, the ash, hopefully, holds on pretty well. I'm going to tap that off because I knew it was ready to go. Okay, let's talk about the flavor notes in this first third. From the initial light up to where they are now, the woodiness is still there, and I'm going to call it sort of a medium cedar, almost a little bit of a toasted cedar note that's in there. There's a really nice creamy nuttiness that's in here that I did get the first time. I've had this once already, just relaxing on my own, but I did get that sort of creamy nuttiness in the first third with that sort of medium cedar, toasted cedar kind of note in there. The leather is still there just a little bit, but it's really, really faint. And that's pretty much what I'm getting on this. So this size is called Justice. Initially, there were only 100 cigars of this blend made because they were originally made back many years ago. I want to say it was like 9 years ago, thinking back to the press release, for Mike to commemorate or celebrate the birth of his son. And so the blend was made for that, and then now 9 years later, it has been adopted to be a blend that they have out in the market. It is a Corona Gorda size, and so really, really good in the first third. I'd say strength on this is probably mild plus right now. As I talk in the long finish, there's just a hint of a white pepper on the back of my throat as well. Nothing overpowering, but there's definitely just a little bit of a nice white pepper note that's there as the cigar has its long finish. So when I come back at the second third, I'll give you the full blend. And I'm holding off intentionally because there's some interesting tobacco used in this one. Not an unknown tobacco and not a rare, hard to find tobacco, but just an interesting thought process behind the blend of this specific cigar that I want to get into more. So when I come back, I'll let you know about the blend and that information. And then right now the draw on this is doing really well. It's a little bit snug, but it is not restrictive whatsoever. So I'm going to jump into the second third, continue smoking down this Justice, and see if the second third does the cigar its name. All right, let me show you the burn here at the end of the second third. I did not touch it up at all. You can see it's got just a little bit of a wave to it right there on the back side. Otherwise, it is not doing bad at all. Ash obviously holds on quite well. Okay, let's talk about the blend on this cigar. The reason it's interesting to me is the tobacco leaf used for the binder is typically one you see as a wrapper leaf and not a binder very often. It does happen, but it's not very often. So this features an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper. It has a Pennsylvania broadleaf binder. That's the unique part. And then Nicaraguan fillers. So when you look at Pennsylvania broadleaf, you typically get some woodiness, some spice in there, some leather, some woodiness, all the flavor notes that I gave to you just a second ago for the first third. But there's something that's different between the Pennsylvania broadleaf and the Connecticut broadleaf, and that's that the Pennsylvania broadleaf is a little bit more of like a smoother molasses compared to a sweeter note that you would find in the Connecticut broadleaf. And the reason I think it's interesting that Pennsylvania broadleaf was used in the binder is it is a thick, uh, very tough in the sense of like how sensitive it is and how delicate it can be. Pennsylvania broadleaf is much more durable, much thicker, and so it's interesting that Pennsylvania broadleaf was used as the binder over the Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, or under, excuse me, the Connecticut wrapper. And the lighter notes that are in it, mixed with the Pennsylvania broadleaf, create a really unique but really good balance to this cigar. So flavor notes in the second third, they continue to develop. I still have that sort of toasted nuttiness that's in there. There's a little bit of creaminess to it as well. There's definitely the leather that's in there. The white pepper is still there on the long finish. It's on the tip of the tongue now, as well as the roof of my mouth, back of my throat. And it's still got a little bit of that toasty note that's in there as well. So pretty much the same flavor profile. The only thing that changed in it is the creamy nuttiness did ramp up a little bit more in the second third, and I'm going to attribute that to the wrapper that's on there, the Ecuadorian Connecticut. The Nicaraguan fillers that's in there, I would say, are absolutely contributing and combining with the Pennsylvania broadleaf to make that spiciness that's in there. Nicaraguan tobacco typically does have some spice in it, and so those two complement each other well. So it was a really interesting process of having the fillers and the binders that complement each other well as the wrapper and the binder that complement each other well. It is very tasty so far. The draw has opened up just a little bit and it is pretty much perfect, spot on with where I like it. Personally, I'd say strength on this is probably a medium minus now. Not super strong, but there's definitely a little more strength in it in the second third than there was in the first third. And so that's what the blend on the cigar is, and that is what it's been like in this second third. I'm going to go through, finish up the cigar, and when I come back, I'll let you know any changes in the flavor profile, any transitions, what's going on with it, and any other information that I think you might need to know. So, here's to the end of the cigar. Let me show you the burn here as the cigar wraps up. Mostly straight. You can see a little flake of the wrapper right there. But overall, it has done well. I haven't touched it up or done anything hoping it would correct itself, and it did. It's probably the straightest that it's been burning the entire time I've been going through and smoking this cigar. Flavor notes in this final third. So the earthiness did ramp up a decent amount, not overpowering earthiness, but there is a nice pepper note that's in there. It's more of a black pepper now. The white is pretty much gone, and it's a pronounced black pepper now on the tip of my tongue and on the roof of my mouth and the back of my throat. And so that transition did take place. The leather is still there. The toasted woodiness is still there, a decent amount, but it is pretty overshadowed by the other flavor notes that are in this final third. The draw on this did stay just where I like it, really nice. The strength on this, I would say, as it wraps up, is probably about a medium, good solid medium, not medium plus. If you're newer to cigars, it may be a medium plus to you, but for my take on it, I would say it's probably a good solid medium on it. Done really well. So overall, do I think this is a noteworthy cigar? I do. I think this is noteworthy. I love the balance between a little bit of the lighter notes, the medium cedar woodiness, the toasted nuttiness, the toasted wood that was in there, the leather, the earthiness. I'm not a huge fan of really overpowering earthy notes in a cigar, and this has, in my opinion, a really fair amount of that without being overpowering. So if you're not a fan of super earthy cigars, this one's not going to bother you, in my opinion. But the lighter notes and the medium notes that are in there are very, very nice. I would say this is probably a medium bodied cigar. Wouldn't say it's full bodied, but I'd say a good medium body. Not super deep, rich in the flavor profile, but definitely a good solid body to it. So, if you have had this Powstanie Connecticut in the Justice format, which is a Corona Gorda, then put some comments down below. If this sounds like something you're interested in, also put some comments down below. Let me know that. Let me know what you think of it. If you've had the other cigars that have been put out by Powstanie, then this may be one that is a little bit on the lighter end for you compared to what they have out there currently available in their portfolio. But either way, leave some comments. Let me know what you think of it. Boop, down in the ashtray. And yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of Tobacco Talk. Enjoy your cigar journey, everybody. I'm Cigar Show Tim. As always, I'll see you.